Good afternoon, butt kickers. It's October 14, the 287th day of 2011, which means that 29 years ago today, President Ronald Reagan declared war on drugs. This is not to be confused with drugs, the mind-altering substances that stupid people take because what the heck, they're already dumb, why not go for really dumb? No, I'm talking about drugs, capital D, the former small island nation off the coast of Florida. You see, drugs was this veritable paradise. A lot of Americans heard about it and decided that they would experiment with drugs, see if they liked it. And, well, of course, they loved it. No pressure, no responsibility, just lying around all day, taking in the drugs. Pretty soon, everyone was trying drugs. Some people even mixed drugs with the neighboring paradise island called alcohol. It wasn't until 1982 that Ronald Reagan deemed drugs far too addictive to exist, and so he bombed the ever-loving crap out of it. Unfortunately, the damage hadn't been done, and the government had to open up dozens of rehab centers along the coastal U.S. to cure those who had been hooked on drugs. In any case, the moral of the story is this. Life is complicated, yes, and of course it feels good to get away from it every once in a while, but moderate your departure and choose your mode of escape wisely. The sub-moral of the story, double-meaning jokes can only go so far. Anyway, today is also World Standards Day, a day in which people around the world celebrate that which they see themselves as being above. For example, oh no, I don't eat fast food. I have standards. I'm sorry, but I will not buy you a drink because you have a festering, face-dominating mole, and I have standards. I reject this birthday present. I specifically asked for a 42-inch HD TV, and this is clearly only 36. I have standards. And so on. Basically, having standards is what separates the human race into its classes. It's also what separates us from monkeys. For example, I'm not going to take a sip of my own urine, even if I am curious. I'm not going to act on that impulse, because I'm not a chimpanzee. I have standards! Above monkeys, you have the destitute, which translates in America to the hobo. Hobos are those sedentary, sentient piles of dirty laundry that ask you for change and sometimes regale you with an entertaining anecdote about how they were beaten up in the alley last night. They sift through garbage and would probably drink their own pee if you could properly convince them that it would get them drunk. They have very few standards, as you can see. Then there's the lower class, who have standards enough to live under a roof, but lack the standards that would keep them from marrying their third cousin, or smoking a carton of cigarettes per day, or filling the streets with their endless progeny. Guess what's for lunch, kids? Well, if you guessed cold cuts and chewing gum again, you're right. Then there's the middle class, who have standards enough to insult the classes below them. For an example of that, watch the last 40 seconds of this video again. And then there's the upper class, who have such refined standards that things like caviar and truffles taste like fine cuisine instead of fish guts and dirt, respectively. Standards aren't all good, though, because there's nothing quite as exciting as deconstructing your own standards, pushing yourself to new lows. Depending on your current class, this could mean anything from drinking out of a lake to braving a Taco Bell. But this disruption of your comfort zone, I think it's probably good for you. Did somebody say disruption of your comfort zone? And with that, until tomorrow, I'm Griff, and I'm still talking. P.S. I'm not going to butter my arm again. That's just silly. But happy birthday. I hope it's a good one. I have standards. I have...